First of all, it's just such an honour to be here today. So I work at London Metropolitan University, as Debbie said, and I am Head of Careers and Employability. I've been with the university for 33 years in professional support services, and with 9 of those as Head of Careers. And really, Debbie, your first myth about you have to be an academic. I'm not an academic, but through this journey, what I've been able to do is understand how I support my academic colleagues. My career's covered placements, careers guidance. It's very much about strategic inclusive leadership, and it's about embedding careers education and employability development, and along with coaching and mentoring. And everything that I do, as I was writing my narrative for this award, is about advancing social justice. My journey. So in 2022, I was encouraged at London Met to apply for a university teaching fellowship. And that was helpfully based on the 3 criteria of the National Teaching Fellowship. In 2023, early 23, our recently retired head of professional educational development sent me an email that had been sent to the academic schools about the NTF. And he said, oh, maybe you want to think about applying. I did a draft expression of interest and was shocked that I'd been selected to complete the full application. It was so helpful having done the university teaching fellowship, but it's not an essential, and I must say this, it's not an essential. For me, it was helpful because it had given me the background reading I needed about reach, value, and impact. And so I'd done the preparation of understanding what those 3 terms meant in the context of excellence. And I will be completely honest with you, I had to write the 3 words down and put my own definitions of what those meant in the context of what I do. So that's where I started out saying, what does reach mean to me? What does value mean to me? What does impact mean to me? I'd never considered the National Teaching Fellowship because no one in my space of employability had spoken about it. So it was with the encouragement of colleagues, I wanted to give it a go and really push myself outside the comfort zone. I think it's a brilliant opportunity to really absorb self-reflection. And this gave me an opportunity to really pause and think, what have I done? How have I done it? And what was that developmental value? I wanted to champion the profile of professional service staff because when it comes to transforming student outcomes, there's a holistic approach to delivering that excellence. So that was one of the enablers for me wanting to do this. It doesn't come naturally to write about yourself. And as Debbie said, and Debbie, I was thinking, oh my goodness, you've seen what I was going to say. Doesn't come naturally to write about yourself. And what I found myself doing, and being a careers practitioner help, is saying, what would I ask my student to do? And what would I ask my student to do if they were completing an application form? I'd say, be clear about what you've achieved. Have you got quantitative and qualitative evidence? And have you got a couple of testimonials of other people saying what you do? And that's the best thing that I could have done, because it then became about, okay, I can do this, I can write. I have collected a lot of data in my career, and without knowing so, we've all got data. But it was the challenge of saying the word I, because the approach that we use is we. And so what I had to do is ask myself one question. What did I do to make X, Y, or Z happen? And then the follow-up question was, if I didn't do it, or if I wasn't there, what would have happened? Would it have happened? And that, again, helped me isolate the examples that I wanted to bring forward. once you start writing, you actually cannot stop. So although at first you think this word count, oh my goodness, it's like writing a dissertation. How am I going to do this? Actually, you cannot stop. And it's deciding what's relevant, but what shows that reach, value, and impact. And it's the balance between the detail and the depth, because you could have one or two examples and they could really be showing that depth, or you could have several examples that's taking a holistic approach. But what you see is the narrative, the thread coming out. I was allocated a mentor from outside the university, and that was really, really useful because she kept asking me, so what on my draft, so what? And that really, really helped unlock things for the next iteration. Debbie, you can change the slide. So what worked for me was asking myself all the time, I need to consider the principles of equality, diversity, and inclusion in everything I do. So what was my vision? How was that underpinned by that? What was I trying to change? How was that underpinned by that? How did I change it? What impact did that have on equality, diversity, and inclusion? And of course, what was the outcome? It could have been something that I was working with an individual or a cohort of students, or it could have been when I was working across the university with other colleagues. Because when it comes to making an impact on teaching and learning and student outcome, you may personally not be the one in the front of the classroom, but you are supporting the ones that are. And so to round up, my top tip would be don't let the fear stop you. Don't move away from something, move towards this. Start with the end in mind, really unpack that criteria, look at that scoring mechanism, and think of it as if they were your learning outcomes and you were marking a student essay. How would you measure that? I had a document where I started listing things at self level, at university level, and then the wider community level. And then what I did was mark those examples against reach, value, and impact, and almost score myself to see which examples were the most valuable to bring forward. I used it as a bit of a writing retreat, a soul writing retreat, I should say. It worked better for me to lock myself away for 3 days and just write, but it's about whatever your learning style is. And what was really helpful was having someone else set deadlines for me. So the draft had to be in on this day, then the second draft had to be in. So finally, I'd go back to remember, keep the end in mind. Your work has reach, it has value, and it has impact, no matter how small or large. It's a case of unpacking your story and bringing to life what you do. I'm so pleased and shocked that I did get it on the first go. But regardless of whether I got it or not, for me, that personal journey in really taking a step back and looking at everything has just been invaluable.